Number 5. Mazda RX-7 FD. Some sports cars become legends because they're incredibly powerful. The Mazda RX-7 became a legend because it dared to be completely different. When the third-generation RX-7 debuted in 1992, it immediately stood out from almost everything else on the road. Instead of sharp angles and oversized bodywork, Mazda gave it smooth, flowing lines that still look modern more than 30 years later. Pop-up headlights, a long sculpted hood, and perfectly balanced proportions made it one of the most beautiful Japanese sports cars ever designed. Even today, many enthusiasts consider it one of the best-looking cars to ever leave Japan. Step inside, and the driver immediately becomes the center of attention. The cockpit wraps around the driver's seat, placing every important control within easy reach. The low seating position, simple dashboard, and excellent visibility created an experience that felt connected rather than complicated. There were no oversized screens or unnecessary buttons, just everything you needed to enjoy driving. But the real surprise was hiding beneath the hood. Instead of a traditional piston engine, Mazda equipped the RX-7 with the legendary 13BREW rotary engine. Unlike conventional engines, the rotary design used spinning rotors instead of pistons moving up and down. It was the first mass-produced sequential twin-turbo rotary engine in the world, producing around 276 horsepower under Japan's Gentleman's Agreement. Thanks to its incredibly compact size and lightweight construction, engineers mounted the engine far back in the chassis, giving the RX-7 nearly perfect weight distribution and exceptional handling. Although it wasn't the most powerful sports car of its time, many professional drivers believed it was one of the most rewarding to drive. Its lightweight body and razor-sharp steering allowed it to carve through corners with remarkable precision. The RX-7 also carried the legacy of Mazda's rotary racing program. Mazda remains the only Japanese manufacturer to ever win the legendary 24 Hours of Le Mans overall, proving that rotary technology could compete against the world's greatest race cars. While the winning car wasn't an RX-7 itself, that historic victory made rotary engines famous around the world. Of course, owning one wasn't always easy. Rotary engines became known for requiring careful maintenance and regular rebuilds, making them more demanding than conventional sports cars. But for enthusiasts, that unique character became part of the car's charm. Today, finding a clean RX-7 is becoming increasingly difficult. Depending on condition and mileage, prices usually range between $70,000 and $120,000, while rare collector examples can sell for considerably more. The RX-7 proved that sometimes taking the biggest engineering risk creates the biggest legend. Number 4. Honda NSX. Imagine building a supercar so impressive that Ferrari had to rethink the way it built its own cars. That's exactly what Honda accomplished with the original NSX. When the NSX arrived in 1990, it completely challenged the idea of what a supercar should be. Instead of focusing only on speed, Honda wanted to create a car that was fast, reliable, and comfortable enough to drive every single day. It was an idea that many people believed was impossible. Its design reflected that philosophy perfectly. The low wedge-shaped body, hidden headlights, wide stance, and clean aerodynamic lines gave the NSX an elegant appearance that still turns heads today. Engineers even studied the cockpit of the F-16 fighter jet while designing the car, using its forward visibility as inspiration for the large windshield and slim roof pillars. Inside, the NSX felt surprisingly practical for a supercar. Visibility was outstanding. The controls were simple and intuitive, and the cabin offered a level of comfort rarely found in exotic cars during the early 1990s. While many rivals felt intimidating to drive, the NSX felt approachable. Under the rear glass sat a naturally aspirated 3.0-liter V6 equipped with Honda's revolutionary VTEC system. It produced around 270 horsepower and could rev to an exciting 8,000 revolutions per minute. Power was sent to the rear wheels through either a 5-speed manual or an automatic transmission, allowing the NSX to accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just over 5 seconds, while reaching a top speed of around 168 miles per hour. But raw performance was only part of the story. During development, Formula One legend Ayrton Senna personally tested the prototype. After driving it, he told Honda engineers that the chassis wasn't stiff enough. His feedback led to significant structural improvements before production began, making the NSX one of the best-handling sports cars of its era. The NSX also became the world's first mass-produced production car, built almost entirely from aluminum, dramatically reducing weight while improving rigidity. That engineering achievement was years ahead of its competitors. Today, the original NSX has become one of Japan's most sought-after collector cars. Well-preserved examples commonly sell for between $100,000 and $180,000, while extremely rare low-mileage cars can command far higher prices at auction. The NSX didn't just compete with Europe's finest supercars, it forced them to evolve. Number 3. Lexus LFA. If engines could sing, the Lexus LFA would be the lead vocalist. When Lexus revealed the LFA, many people couldn't understand it. Why would a company known for building quiet luxury sedans suddenly create a hand-built supercar that cost nearly $400,000? The answer was simple. The LFA wasn't built to make money. It was built to prove what Japanese engineers were truly capable of. At first glance, the LFA looked unlike anything Lexus had ever produced. Every curve, every air vent, and every body panel served a purpose. The aggressive front fascia, massive side intakes, and active rear wing weren't just for style. They helped keep the car stable at speeds approaching 200 miles per hour. The body itself was another engineering masterpiece. Lexus originally planned to build the chassis from aluminum, but halfway through development, the company scrapped the idea and started over with a carbon fiber reinforced polymer structure. It was an incredibly expensive decision that delayed production by years, but it resulted in a much lighter and stronger car. Inside, the LFA combined luxury with race car technology. Leather, Alcantara, carbon fiber, and aluminum covered almost every surface, while the driver-focused cockpit made every control easy to reach. The digital instrument cluster wasn't simply futuristic, it was actually necessary. Because the engine revved so quickly, a traditional analog tachometer couldn't keep up with the needle's movement. Lexus had no choice but to install a fully digital display instead. Hidden beneath the hood was one of the greatest engines ever created. The naturally aspirated 4.8-liter V10 produced 553 horsepower and screamed all the way to an astonishing 9,000 revolutions per minute. It launched from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 3.6 seconds and reached a top speed of 202 miles per hour. What made the engine truly unforgettable wasn't just its performance, it was its sound. Lexus partnered with Yamaha, the company famous for building world-class musical instruments, to fine-tune the intake and exhaust system. The result was an engine note unlike anything before or since, often described as one of the greatest automotive sounds in history. Development of the LFA lasted almost 10 years, making it one of the longest and most expensive projects in Lexus history. Only 500 examples were ever built, instantly making the car one of the rarest modern supercars. Current market value today, the Lexus LFA is worth far more than its original price. Most examples now sell for between $900,000 and $1.5 million, while the extremely rare Nürburgring package has sold for well over $2 million at auction. The LFA wasn't just a supercar, it became one of the greatest engineering achievements Japan has ever produced. Number 2. Toyota Supra Mk4. There are legendary engines. And then there's the 2JZ. Few power plants have earned a reputation quite like Toyota's iconic inline-six. When the fourth-generation Toyota Supra arrived in 1993, it immediately stood apart from its rivals. Instead of following sharp, aggressive styling trends, Toyota created a smooth, muscular body with flowing curves, a long hood, and one of the most recognizable rear wings ever fitted to a production car. More than 30 years later, the Mk4 Supra still looks modern. Inside, everything was designed around the driver. The dashboard was angled toward the driver's seat, creating a cockpit inspired by fighter jets. Large analog gauges, supportive sports seats, and perfectly placed controls made the Supra feel like a true performance machine without sacrificing comfort. But what transformed the Supra from a great sports car into a global legend was hiding under the hood. Toyota equipped it with the now legendary 3.0-liter twin-turbocharged 2JZ GTE inline-six engine. Officially, Japanese models produce 276 horsepower because of the gentleman's agreement. Unofficially, nearly everyone knew the real number was significantly higher. The engine's iron block, forged crankshaft, and incredibly strong internal components made it one of the toughest production engines ever built. With only basic upgrades, owners could easily double the factory horsepower. Heavily modified Supras producing over 1,000 horsepower have become common, while the most extreme builds have exceeded 2,000 horsepower. The Supra's popularity exploded worldwide after appearing in The Fast and the Furious, where Brian O'Connor's bright orange MK4 became one of the most iconic movie cars of all time. That single film introduced millions of people to Japanese performance cars and turned the Supra into a cultural icon almost overnight. Current market value today, the MK4 Supra is one of the most valuable Japanese sports cars ever built. Most clean examples sell for between $120,000 and $300,000, while rare, low-mileage collector cars have exceeded $500,000 at auction. More than 3 decades after its debut, demand continues to grow, proving that few cars have left a bigger mark on automotive history than the legendary Supra. Number 1. Nissan GT-RR 35. Some cars earn respect, others earn fear. For nearly 2 decades, one Japanese machine has done both. Known around the world as Godzilla, the Nissan GT-R became famous for one reason: it destroyed almost everything in its path. When the GT-RR 35 made its debut in 2007, it completely shocked the automotive world. While many manufacturers relied on massive engines and sky-high prices, Nissan took a different approach. The goal wasn't to build the most expensive supercar, it was to build the smartest one. Its aggressive design immediately set it apart. Sharp LED headlights, muscular fenders, large front air intakes, and the signature 4 round taillights created a look that remains instantly recognizable today. Every vent, splitter, and body line was carefully engineered to improve aerodynamics and cooling, proving that the GT-R's design was driven by performance rather than style alone. Inside, the GT-R combined everyday comfort with race-inspired technology. The driver-focused cockpit featured deeply bolstered sports seats, premium materials, and one of the most advanced digital displays of its time. Nissan even partnered with the creators of the Gran Turismo video game to develop the multifunction performance screen, allowing drivers to monitor everything from turbo boost pressure to G-forces and lap times in real time. But the GT-R's biggest weapon was hidden beneath the hood. Power came from Nissan's hand-built 3.8-liter twin-turbocharged VR38D ETT V6 engine. At launch, it produced around 480 horsepower, allowing the GT-R to sprint from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 3.5 seconds before reaching a top speed of approximately 193 miles per hour. Over the years, Nissan continuously refined the car, and the latest GT-R Nismo delivers around 600 horsepower while offering even sharper handling and improved aerodynamics. Performance, however, wasn't just about horsepower. The GT-R's advanced ATESA ETS all-wheel drive system constantly monitored road conditions and distributed power between the front and rear wheels in milliseconds, giving the car extraordinary grip in almost any weather. Combined with its lightning-fast dual-clutch transmission, the GT-R could launch off the line with incredible consistency, often outperforming far more expensive European supercars. Every single GT-R engine is assembled by one master technician known as a Takumi. Only a handful of these craftsmen are trusted with building the VR38 engine, and once it's complete, each one signs a plaque mounted on the engine, making every GT-R feel just a little more personal. The GT-R quickly earned the nickname Godzilla, originally given by Australian journalists after earlier GT-R models dominated international motorsport. The name perfectly matched the R35's ability to crush rivals that cost 2 or even 3 times as much. Tuners also discovered the GT-R's incredible potential. Today, modified examples producing well over 2,000 horsepower have become famous around the world, with some reaching speeds of more than 250 miles per hour, making the GT-R one of the most capable tuning platforms ever created. Current market value. Today, prices vary depending on the model year and condition. Early GT-Rs typically sell for around $80,000, while newer low-mileage examples often command $150,000 to $250,000. Limited editions such as the GTR Nismo frequently sell for even more, making them highly sought-after collector cars. Nearly 20 years after its debut, the Nissan GT-RR 35 remains one of the greatest performance cars ever built. It proved that intelligent engineering could outperform prestige, and that's exactly why Godzilla deserves the #1 spot.